Full circle.
Yes, sir. Where we going?
Let me see what we look like real quick. Oh yeah. I'm opening this.
That's what I was about to ask too. Came clutch. What's going on, you guys, man? You guys already know who it is. It's your boy, Official Go Getter, man. My boy Flash. He's setting up the blinds, man. We're getting this lighting right for you guys. Excited for this good episode. You know how we always gonna start it. We're gonna be starting off with the SPY and Bitcoin. Yeah, we coming like this.
I ain't gonna lie, I got something for us. You
already got this?
Yeah, I got something for us, bro.
Yeah, it's already coming. So we already got it. But
for real?
Yeah, that's why I got, my girl got me, what did I want for Christmas? I just said some lighting like this. It's going to be the smaller ones, kind of like this, but got two of them, so we're going to be in the game, right? Yeah, man, you guys already know how we do it, man. First and foremost, how are you feeling, my boy?
Real quick, hold on.
This guy, he's eating. What you got? The fig bar?
Fig bar, bro.
Man,
come on, man.
You guys drop something in the comments if you guys is messing with the fig bars, man. What flavor was that?
That was the raspberry fig, man.
Raspberry fig bar, man.
So look, I'm feeling like it's Wolf Wednesdays, man. It's Christmas Eve, right? I know everybody's with their families and everybody got something going on, you know what I'm saying, coming up this weekend or in these next couple of days, right? And I'm feeling good, you know what I'm saying? Spend time with the fam, spend time with bro, you know what I'm saying? We're still working, no matter what day it is, you know what I'm saying? Got whole Wednesday planned out just for production, right? Content, work, everything. So, I'm feeling good, you know what I'm saying? How about you? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. I keep forgetting that it's Christmas Eve, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Christmas Eve is hitting different when you didn't put working all year, right? And you actually get it paid off. You know what I'm saying? You actually get to see those results. You get to actually look back and be like, man, I can measure myself from January to now. We can measure our business from January to now.
Yes.
We're in the game. So, this is going to be a good Christmas Eve. I'm looking forward to it. Going to call some family after this, laugh on FaceTime, do some things, yeah, man. Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, just like you said, working all year, you know what I'm saying? We're at the last quarter, last final minutes of the, of the game, and we got another game next year, right? It's a gift. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that we made it, right? I'm looking forward to the future and what these next couple games is looking like, because I know that we gonna be killing them.
We're gonna be killing them.
AI Cross, Jamal.
We gonna be killing them.
Come on.
Before we get into it, I did just get a question that sparked in my head, man. I want to ask you, man, and I'm gonna answer myself. Based off of what you accomplished this year, right, and how you feel this Christmas Eve. What's something that you would tell yourself, last Christmas Eve?
Like if I had to go back in time?
Yeah, or, last Christmas Eve, the version of you sitting there last Christmas Eve. What would you think that you would go back and tell them right now?
Man, multiple things, I'm not gonna lie, but I will tell myself like, hey, you know what I'm saying? It just begun, right? This is what real life looks like, you know what I'm saying? Be prepared for what this year has in store for you, for me, and yeah, at the end of this year, you're gonna turn out somebody different, man, and he wouldn't have,
Yeah. I had
a journey.
I had to really think back to where I was last Christmas Eve, and last Christmas, last year, that was something I told myself. Next year I want to be more personal with my content. I want to be more confident with my content. I want to. It wasn't just about posting more consistently, but it was more about being more authentic with it. I wanted to just show me. I wanted to do literally. I told my dad, one of my biggest goals for this year that I had made last year was I just wanted to go live more with my audience.
Yeah,
and that's crazy. I've been doing that all year, and we're here every week. And saying that to say, That's why it's important for you to prep and make those goals, right? And not to make, you know, a whole bunch of goals in 1 year, but make, you know, just a few, you know, quality, actionable goals. And when you put those out into the world, you know, to be able to look back, it happens. It's gonna happen one way or another, you know. And it's dope to look back, you know, when you say something and set out on a mission, right? And you're like, man, we here now.
Yeah.
We here.
It's a blessing.
It's a blessing. I'm gonna grab me a piece of gum, but with that being said, we about to go into the SPY and the Bitcoin, man.
Let me get one of those too, man.
Yes, sir.
Bang, good looking.
Yes, sir. You already know, man.
Full circle wealth.
First and foremost, man, we got the S&P 500 right here. This is the chart. If you guys don't know what that is, man. Yep. If you guys don't know what the S&P 500 is, it is the maker of the top 500 publicly traded companies in the U.S. Wow. Right?
How about I go like this? How I tilt it?
I don't even think you can.
I'm gonna bring it down a little bit.
Yep. And, you know, when this is up, majority of the stock market is up. When this is down, majority of the stock market, the companies in the stock market are down, right? So, last week, we had touched on the fact that, well, okay, let's just start with the fact that this is a daily chart. Each of these candles represent a day. So this Wednesday, we were at the price of 690. But let's go to the price of last Wednesday. Last Wednesday, we had closed at that 670, right? You actually do remember that, Flash.
Yep, yeah.
Flash had, we was talking about the likelihood of us hitting 700 as a target for the end of the year, right? And yeah, touch on what you said a little bit.
Yeah, I was really asking if this was something that you see plausible, and you had pretty much said that all we needed was about 4 or 5%.
Yeah.
Right? Look where we are now.
Yeah, from that time we was at, it was 4, almost 5%. Now from where we are 1.4% away.
Yes.
Right, and you know, Flash was also touching on the fact that, you know, when we were that low, it was something that was likely to happen, but it was also something that was unlikely to happen as well, right? Yes. You actually never know with the market. You can look at these candles all you want. You can get the confluence and the confidence that you can have from looking at different things all you want, but at the end of the day, the market still does what it wants to do. So we could have been like, yes, it's gonna come back up, but at the end of the day, we really didn't know. It was likely it could happen, but there was a likely chance that it couldn't happen. But also, it depends on that fundamental analysis that we spoke on about last week when we talk about the news, right? Because what I had said was, usually what the market likes to do is an unexpected news event that causes the markets to push up, right? What we got trillions of dollars that the Federal Reserve said that they're going to start pumping into the market, right? And what that happened was, you know, that started to push it up. But then also, what I had learned was what we call the Christmas rally. So December, there's always a rally, meaning that we always have a time in December where, you know, we start to push up to the upside, right? And it usually happens. It's not in the beginning or the middle. It's at the end. The last 5 trading days of December and the first 2 trading days of the new year, right, are usually the days where we see that upside. So with that being said, we was this low, 670 last week, and now we're at 690 this week, right? Inching up to that 700, and that's just how the market works, man. Truly how the market works. Just to sum that up, you know, it moves in cycles. When it's down, that's why we say buying opportunities, because we see what happens. You know, the market doesn't stay down. We hit a low of 670, 690, 669. Came right back up, man. So, Flash, you got anything you want to say to that?
Yeah, right. Just that unlikely but likely.
Yeah.
But unlikely but likely. That's, we have the proof is in the pudding ultimately, right? Mm-hmm. And we didn't have any more news for the rest of the year, and you know wasn't like we were just looking for that rally, just like you were saying, and we're here. We're at the 690, right? And so also in the middle of the week with one more week left to go through the year. So, you know what I'm saying? Personally, this is my prediction, right? I'm thinking we're definitely clearing that that 700 mark up here, and we're gonna do a little bit of testing, and we might even break past it.
Yeah.
701, 702.
Because that's usually
what I
what it
see.
likes to do, you know. Because that's definitely a good. What's the word? Thesis. Because that's what we like to do when we end up reaching a new level. You know, when we end up reaching a new level, a new all-time high, and this is a new all-time high right here. This level that we're at, 690. We've never been at this level before.
Yes.
So when we reach these levels, what market usually likes to do typically is push up a lot, right? And we moved up today, even on a slow day. It's not slow day, but a short day. Market closed at 10 a.m. our time, so that's 1 p.m. New York time, right? So we had a short day today, in just a few hours, and we still was moving up to the upside, right?
How many points on the day?
So this
Or
is
percent?
on the day today. We ended up moving so just shy of 0.40%. So almost not even almost 1%. We just moved up a little bit. We moved up from 688 to 690. So we moved up a couple dollars, right? A strong move up. But you know, that's better to see than some stagnation, because we didn't see any stagnation. The market opened up today and just went straight to the upside, man. So yeah, man. S&P 500, the ticker, man. The index, the ETF that we can invest in that makes up the top 500 publicly traded companies, man. This is one of the most quality investments and savings investments in the world, right? If you're not somebody who wants to invest into each individual stock like we have right here, we got Netflix, Nvidia, we got SoFi, we got Meta. If this is too risky for you, right? You want something to move slower over time, but still get a good percentage on your money. S&P 500 is actually up 15%, 17% year to date. So closing out this year, the index, the ETF is closing out to almost 20% on your money, right? So growth is growth, right? And it's always better to, you know, put your money somewhere that's going to work for you than to put it somewhere that's just going to stay stagnant, right? Hence, if you would have, you know, say you saving a few dollars, right? And you had $1,000 that you're saving, right? And you don't want to put the whole $1,000 into the market. Say you just want to, say you saw the market that was at a dip when we were talking about that 670 range, right? And you said, okay, out of this $1,000 that I got saved, let me just go ahead and put $200 here, or let me take and put some money in, you know, let me take like 500, 670, buy a full share, right? If I wanted to, and get in there right now. On your savings that would have just sat there in the shoebox or your bank account, your checkings, or whatever the case was, it would have just sat there. But you took a percentage of it, and if you understand the skill, right? You took a percentage of your savings, you put it here, and it grew $20 over the last week, right? And that's $20 more into your savings, right? That you didn't have, right? So saying that to say, you know, once you understand this skill, you can use it how you want to use it, right? You can use that same thing, and you could buy options contract, right? And say, I'm going to take $150, $200, I'm going to buy an options contract, and the price moves up $20, and, you know, you're in a swing play, and you add even more money. So that $20 becomes $200, and you add that to your savings, right? So once you understand this skill, you utilize it in whatever way you would like, right? But it's just important that we understand how to navigate these markets, right, and to set ourselves up. So that being said, man, you go ahead and do what you need to do, my boy, with the crypto. Get us right on the crypto, man.
Bang,
you want to switch spots? Would it be easier?
No, I think we cool.
All right, bet. Let me make sure you're
Make sure we cool. Let me see what I'm looking like. I'm looking cool.
Ooh, Ryan's up in here, my boy.
Shout out my boy Art Breeze, man.
We see you, boy. We see you.
So let's do overall. We were looking at our last week. We're looking at the support and resistance levels of Bitcoin, and right now Bitcoin is
switch spots, brother.
Yeah, but got you.
just so they can see the screen.
Yeah, got you.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah, you good.
Okay, we last week. Sorry, current price of Bitcoin 87,000. Last week, let's go to the 4 hour, or the daily. I mean, let's go to the daily. Last week last week. Today is the 24th. Let me do a little bit of math. That is the 18th, right?
Right there. I'd say
we was at around, that's the 17th, my bad. Terrible math. I wasn't a math major. We was at 85,000, right? So not too much more of a difference in price, up a couple percent of what that looks like. We were here last week, and we're still playing it within this range.
I was about to say, yeah, Bitcoin's they're in that bigger range, and we in that even smaller range right here between what's that 90,000 and 84,000.
Yeah, exactly. Low key.
You can put some lines right there. I got the right there.
Right here at this 90.
Oh. Yeah, man.
And then right here at this, what was you finna say?
I was about to tell these guys, we look at the reason why we are looking at these price ranges and looking at this chart is because we're able to gauge where price is at, right? So we're not just doing this for no reason. We can see, okay, price is within this box right here of 90,000, 84,000, and that tells us, okay, where is price, right? And we know, okay, once price gets towards, that 84,000 is more likely to either bounce or break through. If it breaks through, we're more likely to go to the downside. If it gets to that 90,000 and breaks through, we're more likely to get to that upside and get to that 93,000. But if it doesn't, we're more likely to stay in the box or move back down. So we're just trying to gauge where price is at, and this helps us, right, see where price is failing to break above and below. Boom.
Bang. Yeah. We're still in this range. Perfect example, right? We're still in this range. It hasn't done too much moving. But what this looks like for, with the trillions that were just added to the stock market, it has had Bitcoin is a little bit of kind of like an edge up, right? Just like I said last week, we're at 85,000, right? With the low of 84,000. And so we're up. It says $116. I think that's on the day, though. I'm not gonna lie. That is on the day since market open. Yeah, so we're up $116 on the day, which is cool, right? And if you were, shout out to my traders. If my traders was in that, you know what I'm saying, getting their piece of action. Shout out my traders. Overall, the crypto market is still looking the same. XRP is below. It broke below actually where we were talking about before. Let's put this right about here, right? And it looks like we got sort of level. So you seen, just like he was saying, just like Official Go Getter was saying, when it comes to one of these levels,
you can remove that white one.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Shit ain't.
When it comes to these levels, and the way that we chart it up is we see that it touched here first, right? And rejected, bang. That was that crazy day where everything was down. They were closing all the exchanges. Nobody could get in or out of crypto. And yeah, you couldn't sell, you couldn't buy.
And then
bang, that day.
Back up right there.
Yep.
That's some crazy stuff.
Price came back and broke the level, the one of the levels again where our resistance level. And then we kind of stayed around it a little bit and didn't move anywhere. We touched it again one more time. We broke above it and came right back down, right? We had a little bit of a left sideways movement. Then we come down to our lower level, our support level, and it touches it, bounces right. It bounces, rejects off of it. And, now we're here today. We're seeing I guess next week we will see where we are. I'm gonna leave these up just like it is. But overall, crypto market is terrible right now. I know some of my crypto fellas, man, portfolios aren't looking the best, but that wouldn't matter if you're dollar cost averaging anyway, right? Your portfolio you're not down too much money, right? Because you're buying at these lows, these 186s, right? Anything below, I've been saying this for months, right? Almost this whole year. Anything under $2 XRP, fire. Anything under $3, right, is low key money grab. That's yours, man. Go get that bag. Ultimately, man. Yeah. I do want to touch on gold real quick though, because gold is pushing. This is the daily. This is the daily time frame. Gold is pushing, man. Let me go to the 4-hour real quick to get a better scope. Gold has been doing its thing, man. We just hit all-time high, 4,516 yesterday. Oh. Hold on, what day was this? This was yesterday, right? Yeah. Around 2 p.m. is what it says. And I was watching this. I didn't, kind of towards the end of the year, I don't, not really trading, right? This is super volatile market. And I can't really, the price action is too wild for me right now. So I haven't been really taking any trades. But this, I see this entire move yesterday. I was watching it as I was charting up. And I watched gold hit 4,500. And so, fire, right? You know, and this is what we talk about when it comes to overall assets, right? Because now, then it's gold. So safe haven. Year to date is up 70%, right? So let's look at that real quick. You know, overall, let's go year to date, 70%. Today's the 24th, Tuesday. Price of gold was 2,006. Oh, I'm lying to you. My fault, chat. Hold on. Price was around 2,500 for 1 troy ounce of gold. So 70% of the year doing numbers, checking in with silver too as well. Touched up on silver a little bit, also surging as well because the market was flooded with trillions of dollars. And so this is a good thing and a bad thing because gold, safe haven asset, surging, right? But crypto, as we can see, is not doing the best. This is kind of like completely opposite charts. And so what we have is when we have interest rate cuts, and we have news that comes out, and when we hear there's capital and getting flooded into the market, we see crypto really kind of go down, and we see everything else go up. Stocks, right? ETFs, everything is doing overall well, except for the crypto market, man. And so, blessing and a curse when it comes to gold surging. So honestly, let me give you a quick comparison. When gold surges, that means the value of our dollars go down, right? And so when gold plummets, right, when gold is bearish, then that means the value of our dollar, the US dollar, goes up. And so now you see, we hit the all-time high of 4,500. It's not looking too good for our dollar, nor our crypto assets.
Wait a minute,
yeah.
Though. So what you just said was, okay, as gold rises, it devalues our dollar.
Yeah.
Right? That is true.
Oh.
But I was thinking that would also make crypto more valuable. Not in the sense of, okay, maybe the price may not be reflecting it right now.
Yeah.
But crypto, as in it more need for that utilization, more need for that, you know, that currency that's going to help us get out of this problem with our dollar.
Yeah.
So is that still true? As far as, you know, with gold rising, devaluing the dollar, and yeah, crypto is down right now, but would that also make crypto more valuable in the long run?
Essentially, but we know, so yes and no at the same time, because we know that gold is safe haven asset. There's nothing better than gold, honestly, right? Yeah. Except for, you know, stocks and things like that overall. But when it comes to tangible assets,
stocks aren't even better than gold.
Okay.
The gold is the safe haven for real.
It's the one.
Yeah,
you feel me?
So, yeah.
Our monetary value was backed by gold at a point, right? And hard tangible assets. And so if gold rises, what that does for other assets, not in this case because stocks are up, right? ETFs are up, things like that. But when it comes to assets that aren't as safe, like crypto, right? Like what else? Maybe like oil. We can look that up too. We're getting besides the point though. But when gold is up, crypto is down because it's not a safe asset. Ultimately, it's a riskier asset, right? And so people are taking their money out of crypto, out of Bitcoin, out of XRP, out of Ethereum, and they're moving away from that and moving it more into the safe haven asset like gold and silver. And so I did want to add one more ticker to our...
That was a great breakdown.
To our full circle wealth portfolio.
Yeah.
And that is Ethereum.
Yeah, we do need Ethereum up in there.
We need Ethereum in there because Ooh, look at you already. Ooh, what you doing with the markets? Ooh.
What am I don't remember nothing about no Ethereum.
Come on.
Mark out. Maybe this was something that you did one day.
Nah, this is you the whole time. Bro's the crypto guy right here. You guys don't even know.
You guys are funny. If you guys actually, we broke down on our first ever live, one of our first lives that we ever did on our YouTube. It's on our YouTube. Go check out the first video on our YouTube to understand the different cryptos. You know, our boy Flash here broke down the different cryptos, the different wallets, the different hot wallets. We're not going to do it again. But go back to our first video and watch that video to know what Ethereum does, what Bitcoin does, what the different cryptos do.
Yes.
But go ahead.
Shout out Official Go Getter for that too, because we were just looking at that today overall. That is absolutely in the first video. Go check that out if you want a deeper, in-depth breakdown. But we got to add Ethereum to the list just because it is a crucial asset that also plays a market, it also plays a part in the market. And if I'm not mistaken, Ethereum is the third top crypto, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So how does it? Who's first? I thought they was two.
There might be two.
I thought XRP was third.
There might be two. Let me see. Let's see. Okay, they are second, and Tether's third, and XRP is fifth. So overall, also real quick, I want to state that CoinMarketCap has an ETF. It's called the CMC 20, where so see right here, bang, the index of the top 20 cryptos, right? And it is sitting at $183 too. So if you wanted to get into a crypto ETF and have a piece of every crypto outside of, within the first top 20 cryptos, we got, let me just name those real quick. Bitcoin, Ethereum 2, XRP, Solana, Tron, Dogecoin, sitting at the good 7, Cardano, Bitcoin Cash, Chainlink, Hyperliquid. I have talked about Hyperliquid before, not in depth, but I brought them up before. Zcash, Stellar, Litecoin, Sui, Avalanche, Hedera, Shiba Inu, damn, World Liberty Finance, which is Trump's coin, crazy, and Toncoin, top 20. If you wanted to get a piece of all of these cryptos, $183, man. Index.
That's beautiful, man. And that, that's very. I'm glad you brought that up, and the index and the ETFs are important because it gives you an opportunity to still be in the game without putting as much risk on the table, right? You're able to own. So you may not be able to own a full share of Bitcoin, right? You may not be able to own a full, Ethereum coin, whatever the case may be. You may not be able to own all that stuff completely because the price may be $87,000, $2,000, whatever the case may be. But if you buy this $183 ETF, right, this gives you the opportunity to still benefit when those prices move up, right? By owning the ETF.
The ETF, bang. Exactly. Yep, Ethereum is sitting at number 2, and so yes, gotta add it in a full circle wealth portfolio, man. It has to be up there, at least the top 5. We haven't really gone over Tether or BNB, but ultimately BNB is an exchange. Let me real quick. Let me go to the about so we can have a quick native. BNB is the native coin of BNB chain ecosystem, essentially for powering multi-faced Web3 environment. It supports transactions on BNB smart chain, right? So they are a exchange where you can get crypto and also play around with their Web3 services. I haven't done too much research on BNB specifically. I've always seen them, and you know what I'm saying? I've never analyzed them fully though. So, yep. That being said, at least we got to get the top 3 in there, man. The top, you feel me?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. For sure. No, I'm with that. So we got Ethereum into the full circle wealth portfolio, and that actually leads into the question that I wanted to ask you about the portfolio. Out of I'm gonna choose my top stock and my top crypto as far as like what is that one that you feel like you're going to be paying the most attention to coming to 2026?
Yep. And you're asking me right now. Honestly, I am looking. I ain't gonna lie, I got two. Flare, right? Flare is such a good buy because it is, first of all, 1 penny, right? And they're gonna be built under they're gonna allow you to take your XRP and convert it and use it in the DeFi world. I've already broken that down. You gotta check maybe 4 of the live videos ago. I've already broken down exactly what Flare does with XRP. And so they're gonna bring DeFi with DeFi utilization to XRP. And that's gonna be major because XRP is kind of becoming their own bank. That's enough on Flare. Not too much sauce. It's a penny though. We already done the math on how many a penny gets you with $10, right? So come on. My second one is XDC. 4 cent. Fire, man. I've already covered them. That was the same video. Yeah, XDC. Those are my top 2 right there.
Bet.
Easy buys, hold long term. They have both great utility. Coming soon.
XDC, that's Cardano?
No, XDC is yeah, that's what it is. XDC. There's no other bigger ticker.
Okay. What's Cardano's ticker? CDA or XDA? I don't know.
Let me see real quick. Because it is right here. Cardano ADA. Man. Cardano is also 3 cent too. Great buy.
So actually talk about that a little bit. So when you see the cents, or just that specific price, why does that signify a good buy?
Okay, so kind of got to go a little bit off topic, but when I see this, right, and I see the price of something, I then have to look at the fundamental. I got to do fundamental analysis and look at what is their circulating supply, right? They have 35 billion. What's minted? What's already out there for me and you to go buy retail, right?
Yeah.
And so when all of these match, and I look at the market cap, and all of these play a part, and it looks like a good overall crypto, and like you see, look right here as well. When I look at the profile score, that's at 75. Ultimately, what that means is how big or how credible all of the information of this crypto is, and how up to date it is, and things change, right? And so when I see this, I give it an overall analysis and try to figure out if this is something worthy of my attention or not. Ultimately, and I look at the market cap, fundamental, supply. Yeah.
Okay, and as far as the price when it comes down to the cents in general, how you're saying, because you referred to Flare and XDC, how the price of them, how they're at less than 1 cent, or they are 1 cent, whatever the case may be. So
I see what you're saying.
Yep.
So when it's this low, right, I'm thinking about the potential upside, right? I'm not thinking about how long it's gonna take me for it to get there, or for the crypto to get there. I'm not thinking about what their, adoptions are. Once I do that fundamental analysis and I see that it's 4 cent, right? I see XDC's 4 cent and I see Flare's 1 cent. I can get the biggest bang out of my buck rather than going to an XRP, which is $2, right? Which XRP may be bigger, right? It may be more supply, it may be more retail investors, but because it would take a lot longer for this to go to $5, or if it would take a lot longer for this to 10x than this would. So now it's about protecting capital. You see what I'm saying? Risk management, assets, right? I'm gonna be completely honest, Flare is a bit of a riskier asset because of the fact that it is crypto, but also it's not relying necessarily, but it is Flare is the railroad, right? XRP is the train. Flare is trying to make sure that that XRP is riding their tracks.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
So they're relying on Flare is relying on XRP to really get their ball moving, and their own smart contracts and their DeFi systems to be cooperable with not only XRP but other cryptos as well, like Ethereum. You know what I'm saying? And potentially Cardano, things like that.
Yeah, and I like how you touched up on that, how it is a riskier investment and, how, that potential upside is there. With that being said, for people who don't really understand crypto, the beauty of crypto is the fact that you could find potential investments that are this low and will, just spark up and give you a ultra times on your money, right? That's the beautiful part about it. It is risky, but then you also have, I want you to touch on that a little bit too. I'm gonna talk about, how, you have the meme coins, right? So this is, yes, it's at a low price. It may be the same price as what we may call a meme coin, but this is different than a meme coin because we back it by, utility substance. I want you to talk about that a little bit because a lot of people may just think that, crypto is kind of like a casino or like gambling, right? And you can use it that way, right? But there's also a way when you understand the skill where you can utilize it, right? And take risky investments, but what's the word that I want to use? Calculated risk, right? It's a conscious and calculated risk, and you're basing it off actual reasoning. So touch on that a little bit, the difference between not basing it off of reasoning and having your reason.
Right, yes. And I like that you said that too, because that is what's important about understanding your risk is knowing exactly what is the risk, right? It's not the fact that necessarily the crypto is the risk, just the overall, what do they do, right? What is it for? How can it benefit the world, not only, but you, right? Because also the difference between kind of a utility coin and a meme coin is the fact that it helps you in a way. If you're going to use Flare's DeFi systems to bridge XRP to Ethereum or bridge XRP to, Avalanche, then that would, you need to have that type of mindset as well of what will it do for you and you, right, investor, what will it do for me? Because at that point it's gambling. And there's no risk. I could go in and be like, hey, I see, let's just pick a random one. Oh, I see Pepe coin, which is a meme coin, actually. I see Pepe coin is doing numbers, right? But in reality, it is a meme coin. And it's a 50th, I think, or a fifth of a penny, right? So with that being said, you know that this is a meme coin and there's no real utility behind it, but it's the top 50 coin market cap coins, right? It's 44. And so with that being said, it's all about the use case for you as well, as everybody is different and they use crypto how they would use it personally. For me, I'm not a crypto trader. I am really a holder. I hodl, HODL. This is what I do, man. I don't really dabble into the meme coins and ever really. I've tried it, right? And it wasn't for me. It's nothing like trading the stock market or trading like an index or even gold. It's nothing like that. It's crazy, right? It's a crazy place to be in and it's an easy way to lose your money. So ultimately, back to the original point, in order for me to make the right decision on if this is a meme coin or not, right? Or if this is something that is going to be utilized with me, I look up the support of the crypto and ensure that it is exactly what fits my niche.
Yeah.
That answer your question?
Yeah, a great breakdown. Answered it perfectly. I'm actually going to save this so we can come to this every week the same way we do with all this as well. So
cool.
Every week we'll introduce, you going through coin market cap and doing the breakdown. But along with what you said, I'm going to break down I only got my one stock and I like what you said. I want to touch on going back to what we were just talking about a little bit. When it comes down to your investments, man, it makes it much easier to hold your investments whether they're up or down when you understand why you bought, right? So it's very important that you have a thesis as to why you bought a specific company or a specific crypto, right? And you don't want to sell that crypto or company unless that thesis changes, right? Because when you see, say you're in Flare, but the utility behind Flare, as Flash was just talking about, when it's down 50%, you're not thinking about that, right? It's not hurting you as much because you understand, okay, even though market sentiment may be taking this company, however was going on in the market, right, it may be down, I know what this company does, and that gives me my confidence in my position, right? So I may add more even though they're down, right? So that's all important. That leads me into Meta, right? Because Meta has been one of my favorite You know, so when we go back to our first episode, like I mentioned earlier, you know, we asked the question, what is one investment that you regret like not buying earlier or something like that, right? And mine was Meta. You know, mine was Meta. I never owned Meta until, you know, this year. And I took the time this year to dollar cost average in the Meta and actually the full circle wealth portfolio. Here's your phone real quick, brother. Yeah. With that being said, you know, I've been investing into them for, you know, majority of the year. You know, we were up here at the high, right? Majority of the year, you know, Meta had a great year from April. Okay, let's just go back then since we're going that low. Okay, let's just go to April because everybody had a good down in April and downtrend. So after that downtrend in April, Meta went from a high of 740 to a low in April of 480. Wow. I didn't even know they went that low, right? And this was before I even got in because I got in, I believe I started the full circle wealth portfolio around May. So I got in around May, but I didn't acquire Meta first. So they had this run up, right? And from April, they had the run up here to that 93, so almost $800. And this was when I was like, damn, like Meta's gonna hit $1,000. Okay, I just need to own this thing. You know, I'm not gonna buy at the top, but I started dollar cost averaging around like, you know, that 700 range. I think it was like 740, or around this 705, whatever the case was, but it was in that 700s for sure. Then we get a big drop again. So we get that big drop, and this is when, you know, I was dollar cost averaging, so most of this portfolio was lost. I had lost money, right? But because I was also excited about the drop, I didn't really think about what I lost. I remember texting Flash, I'm like, bro, I'm so glad that they dropped this low because now it makes it easier for me to own a full share.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the beauty of it, because I'm up here dollar cost averaging at 700. I'm like, man, I know I'm gonna get to that point. I don't care. I'm just trying to own the thing. You know, it's gonna hit 1,500 at some point, or 1,200, 1,300. I'm just trying to own Meta and be a part of that journey, right? But then it went lower, so that was a blessing to me because I was already close to a full share. Then it bounced. Okay, we get to 578, we get low, and now I'm like, so now I'm buying way more than I intended to buying because I'm like, man, I got a stack, right? Then we come back up to that 667, and now look where we're at now. You know, we're at this range, and we break this right here, we go higher, right? Something that Meta did that also helped their stock a lot is the fact that, you know, they stopped spending as much on the metaverse, right? So a lot of people aren't sold on the metaverse yet, so they just stopped spending as much as they were on the metaverse, and even put that money into their AI spending, right? And they were already spending a lot in AI in general, right? And we know that Meta makes a killing off the ads, right? Meta is a company that doesn't have much overhead, so they see a lot of their profit. They have a good profit margin, so they see a lot of revenue. So with that being said, man, knowing all of that, back to what I was saying about when this company dropped, and when it does drop, right, my conviction isn't in the price. My conviction is in what the company does, and honestly, in Mark Zuckerberg as the CEO, right? If you got to understand the CEO of, you know, said company that you're investing in. You know, once you invest into the company, you put some money into a company, man, you're gonna want to know about this company.
Right, yeah.
You're gonna want to know what they're spending their money on. You're gonna want to know, you know, what Mark Zuckerberg is doing on a day-to-day basis. If he's out partying every night, man, I probably don't want to be invested into a guy who's like that. But if he's looking at AI, he's coming out with display glasses, he's, you know, cutting back on metaverse spending and saying, okay, let me focus on this right now. They're also doing some waterproof whatever system, underwater system that they're building that we talked about a few weeks ago, you know. So if I know Meta is doing all these things, right, and they had a bad earnings one time, I see that as truly a blessing from God, honestly. Instead of being mad at it. So yeah.
Let me ask you something real quick.
Yeah.
I know that I had kind of touched on it a little bit, and you kind of said it a little bit too. I thought you were gonna go a little deeper, but with crypto, it's a lot easy. It's a lot harder to understand risk and figure out exactly why you're buying. But with the stock, because there's so much information about the overall of the company, how does that help you decide whether what stock is fortunate enough to get your attention? Not only your attention, but your money.
That's a good question. Yeah. So, honestly, like I'm really easy, and I like to invest in the stocks that are just really impacting our economy, our day-to-day lives. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always talk about, the top quality companies. Back to what you talk about with utility and crypto. Like a smaller cap company that I've been investing into lately, and that I have grown love for this year is also SoFi, right? And I usually don't really mess around with smaller cap companies, right? And smaller cap companies are just companies with less with just a smaller amount of revenue, right? So for example, like SoFi, their revenue may be like, let's say like 4 billion, 9 billion, or whatever the case may be. And you got Meta, which is a company that's trillions of dollars, right? You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, SoFi, this is a good example because it was a smaller company, and it was a company that it's not known on Wall Street, right?
Yeah.
Wall Street hasn't picked it up yet. And back to what you were saying with crypto, you like to get the cryptos that have the good utility but haven't popped all the way yet.
Because of small cap. I'm glad that you said that. I didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
And and if you understand the skill about stocks, right, it's riskier, but if you invest into a smaller cap company and you look into utilization, what's important with that is the revenue. Is this company growing over time? So I can look at SoFi and see, like we talked about that before. Yes, it's a smaller company and they may not be all the way profitable yet, but I can see that they're getting to that point, right? They're getting to that. Their profits are rising, right? And I got in there before everybody else got in there. I got in there based off looking at their revenue and their financials. I was able to see the growth before it happened, right? It happened in the stock and reflected it. So with that being said, I really just look at what are you adding to the economy? Are you actually changing? Are you actually adding value? And then you relate to where we are in the economy, right? Is this something that the economy even needs right now? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't really have an example off the top of my head, but let me think.
Starbucks.
There you go, like Starbucks. If the economy is, if people aren't spending much money, or whatever the case may be, people may not be spending as much money at Starbucks, right? Or if Starbucks has some type of news going on, or whatever the case may be, I might not want to invest in Starbucks, right? But during this time, SoFi might be an option because SoFi is a financial tech company that you can refinance your student loans through, you can invest through, right? You can build a checking and savings account through, and build credit through. So all these different things. So yeah, man.
I kind of want to touch on that too, low key. SoFi and XRP have a lot in common because they both are ultimately have a vision of being banks.
Yeah.
Right. Digital currency. Using the banks, and so kind of like just to relate and bridge those together when it comes to real world assets, right? SoFi's in the game.
Yeah,
because you just like you said, refinancing your student loan debt, you know what I'm saying, or any debt at that point, right? You could, right?
It could I'm not sure. I'm only gonna say refinance student loan debt right now, but it could be any debt, and then it goes along, like looking around what we already consume, right? I'm already. Before I became a SoFi investor, I think I may have been an investor, then got the card. But a digital, checking account or a digital, debit card, that's something that I already like to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't really mess around with the traditional banks as much anymore. So I saw this as a new reliable company, and then after. Being invested into their stock, that led me to being like, okay, man, this is a dope company. Let me be a part of it, right? Because when you're a part of a company and you invest, like I was talking about earlier, you either causes you to want to be a part of that company and consume, or if you're already a consumer, it causes you to want to be a part of that company and invest, right? I'm already a consumer into Meta. I already use their platforms. That made me be like, man, I know where this future is going. I want to be a part of that.
Right.
I just did, I actually interviewed a dude who works at Meta, a software engineer, 25-year-old, right, for the podcast that we do at the Blueprint Table. So check that out on my YouTube, and it's dope, man. Meta's doing some great things. So, yes, sir, man. But that's what I got for the stock.
Yeah.
How many
Fire.
minutes? Where we at? We at 50? We've been here for an hour?
Nice.
Dang.
That's what happens when that flow state, man. We get to talk about what we
hopped
love,
into
man.
that flow state on you guys.
I do want to read this too right here. SoFi Technologies has reported a significant improvement in EPS, which is earnings per share, over the moving from negative to positive over the past 4 years. Shout out SoFi, man.
And that's literally negative to positive. I was able to see that company go from, okay, the negative was going down. Okay, we're negative 9 million, negative 9 billion, whatever the case may be. Okay, -6, -5, -4, -2.
Positive,
profitable next year.
Come on,
I'm about to get up in that.
Come on.
This year, SoFi went from I was trading it at first because it was just a smaller company, and their contracts were cheaper. But I watched that price go from 11 to 27.
I was there for that too. I remember when you first introduced me to SoFi, and I was like, "What is that, bro? Like, where you even find that at?" He was like, "I don't know, man. When I'm trading it, it's looking good." Maybe 2 or 3 months later, before the summertime, and then going into the summertime, they hit $20.
Man,
I was like, "Whoa."
Man,
you called that.
I should have. I didn't have that swing play, and that's when I was still, dipping my foot in the water when it comes down to that, that day trading, just really getting that arsenal right when it comes down to them contracts. But 2026, man, we did a whole foundation, a year of laying the foundation and really getting the skill set, really tight. 2026 is going to be a great year for all of us, especially, even you guys watching, so.
Remember that name too, Full Circle Wealth Foundation.
Full Circle Wealth Foundation, man. But
dropping Easter eggs and shit, yeah.
That's that, man, that's that. We already at an hour. How you want to, we got some content to go do. We're going to go do a little video. How you want to do it? You want to close it, or you got something else you want to touch on?
Let's see real quick. Let's you know what I'm saying?
Let's see what's going on.
What time are we at exactly? 52?
We're probably at 53 now. It was 50. It was 50 on the dot when I had looked at it earlier.
You wanna go for the next 8 minutes?
Let's just go. Yep. Go for the next 8 minutes.
Yeah. We could just chop it up. Look at the markets, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go, let me see what's going on at the home page.
Okay.
They got the home page, market summary. So if you guys don't know, if you guys just want to see what's going on, TradingView, they got home page. You get to see. You can scroll down and see. They just got a few things. You just whatever we want to look at. We got
crypto market cap. We got the U.S. dollar index. 100 U.S. 10-year yield. Ooh, 4%. So that's might be something we could touch on too, because if we start dipping, right, we can kind of see the overall. We got inflation. I'm not gonna lie, I've never looked at the homepage. Not like this, right?
Yeah.
I've kind of skipped through it. This is fire. We got indicators and strategies.
Yeah, you got other people's ideas on this homepage, so you can come in here and I used to come in here, and before I used to make my own ideas that you can make on your own TradingView. I used to come in here and just look at other people's ideas and see how they're looking at the market and dissecting certain things. Nike, Tim Cook they had some news today. Tim Cook is a partner with Nike. That's the owner.
He's on the board.
He's on the board of Nike, CEO. You sent me that. Matter of fact, you want to pull that up actually?
Low key
on the gram, because I'm like, yeah, you sent me that. Matter of fact. Let's get that out of here. You guys just you can't move it. How I do it? Oh, bad. Right here we got breaking. Apple CEO Tim Cook just bought $3 million worth of Nike stock. Tim Cook just bought 50,000 shares of Nike stock at $58.97 a share. He is also a board member of Nike. This is the part that I really want to touch on. Nike is at its lowest level since 2017. So honestly, Nike has had a really hard past couple years, but definitely this year, Nike been kind of ain't been seeing the revenue, ain't been seeing the same stuff that they've been seeing in the past. So with that being said, the stock has been reflecting and it hasn't been moving as much. Yeah, they're in a big downtrend. But there's something that I've learned called asymmetric risk, right? And what asymmetric risk is when something is so low, like if you're looking at this chart like we're looking at now, it's so low to the point where it really can't do anything but go back up. Right. So we hit a point in Nike where it absolutely hit the lowest of the low. Like I've never seen that in the stock. Like, you can look back and seen it, but I've watched and talked and heard Nike literally go from since 2023 just slowly trickle down, and they're at a major low. They're at a major low that they were at in April, and Tim Cook bought a lot of shares, from 60 to, if they ever even get back to 100, that's some good profit right there if it happens. But yeah, bro, you touch on it.
Yeah, buying opportunity, low key. I wouldn't. We kind of go over Nike. I'm not gonna just add it in there just cause right off the rip, just cause we were looking at it and stuff. I ain't gonna be on that type of time, but Nike is a good buy, bro. $60. I honestly thought that Nike would be a little bit higher just due to the fact that how global and how known Nike is, right? Nike's all over the world. And so
Nike been falling off, bro. I don't think Nike's a good buy, bro. I'm fighting back.
I feel you.
I hear it. I'm really just overly hating just because Nike has been falling off. But like it isn't a good buy zone. It isn't a good buy zone. Like if you wanted to buy a share at $60 or something, or a couple shares, just like dip your foot up in there, it's not at a bad buy. It just. And then okay, Stephen Curry. I saw some comments. Stephen Curry left Under Armour. They may be acquiring him over there at Nike. They get a lot of sales in India. I think they're putting some in India, and they got a good market in India. But their market's kind of falling off. As we see New Balance rise, we see Asics rise, we see those Dash shoes rise. So,
Adidas too.
Adidas. Nike do have a lot of Jordan. I mean, they got a lot of Jordans coming out this year, but
not crypto.
I ain't even know.
I don't even know which one it would be though.
Me neither. But I don't even know if they're a real publicly traded company.
Let's look. Oh, Adidas. ADDYY.
Adidas. Adidas is hard to spell though. ADDYY.
Is this it?
Nah.
I don't know if this is it. 64,000? This is not it.
The ticker's different.
You're right. ADDYY. There it is. Let's see. $100 a share. Just about 97.
There's some A1 manipulation. What the?
Like literally.
What?
17.
Oh, that's a weekly candle. But that's some crazy stuff. Who's investing into Adidas, dog? That's crazy.
I mean, it is wild. Cause what we doing? Adidas not in no fashion world, right? They're not in no. They're kind of getting bigger names when it comes to basketball. Anthony Edwards, right? Shai Alexander.
Actually, and they got Shai?
Yeah, I think. Let me look up Puma IPO. Oh, didn't mean to go there. I don't. Oh. I did not know German. Puma is a German athletic apparel and footwear corporation in Bavaria. Fire.
Right there.
MDX?
Whatever. Traded as FWB Puma.
Let's see.
Oh, right there. Go back to it. Right there on the that's the German stock exchange.
Oh, Frankfurt.
Hit the PUM.
Oh yeah.
so they really are German. Oh, you can say look it on. Let's say it's on TradingView. You can hit the look it up on the TradingView.
It's PUM, right? Mm-hmm. PUM. FWB. They're at $21. Coming from the high of 100 back in 2022.
Man, all these stocks suck. Nike, Puma, and only thing. So ASICS is owned by a parent company. So ASICS is in a parent company. Their stock was doing good last time I had looked at them last year.
AC. Oh. Okay, ASCCF. Let me see. I'm tweaking, I think. ASCCF. A6 Corp. $25. Mm-hmm. Nice. Whoa, but look at this chart though. This chart's kind of.
Yeah, they moved up.
Yeah, they're at a high. Imagine getting in Puma at $9.
Mm-hmm. Puma at the $9. What else is New Balance is owned by a parent company. New Balance, the major, is privately held, so its main stock isn't publicly traded. However, an Indian company, NB Footwear Limited, trades on Indian exchanges. What they trying to say? New Balance is an Indian company?
That's crazy.
So New Balance is privately held and totaled at $6.5 billion in 2023. Battle of the shoes, man. Battle of the shoes. You got the Jordans, you got the New Balance, you got the Asics. Battle of the kicks, man.
Go Under Armour, see what they did with Curry leaving, if that was a big impact. $4. And that's crazy.
What was the ticker? UAA.
4 schmuck. Missing earnings. They're coming from $25, 27. Was that high? Oh, okay. 30.
Yeah, and that's another good lesson too, man. Just because it's a well-known a company that you may see out and about, it doesn't always mean the stock is always great.
Right.
At all, and Nike. All these companies are a good example. Nike has always been a good example of just because it's a known company doesn't mean the stock is always great. Starbucks too. Starbucks has its moments when it's doing well, but Starbucks has always been like a somebody who gets a lot of customers, a lot of action, but their profit margin hasn't always lined up. You see that overhead. Yeah, you see how they got all these earnings, that they've missed, and I've always been the one to talk down on these guys. I don't really. So yeah, man. But based off everything that we talked about today, it all comes down to we kind of broke down how to do your research. Right, do your research on your cryptos, do your research on your stocks, right? Just so you can build that conviction for yourself, right? So you can hold those positions. So, hey, with that being said, man, you got anything you want to touch on before we close out? Buddy?
Yeah, just like you said, do your own research, man, and make sure that your fundamentals comes first when it comes to stocks, right? And you make sure that you're knowing what you're looking into, right? And what you're thinking about buying, making sure that it's that ain't right.
Oh, nah, we're still going though.
I just tweaking on there, refresh.
Yeah.
Just making sure that you know what you're buying, right? Make sure that you understand exactly what you're getting yourself into, right? And understand the risk as well as protect your money, right? Risk management as well, right? Overall, understand the company. Understand what you're getting yourself into. Also crypto, same. Make sure you know exactly what it is, what you're buying. Understand how it can move. And don't look at the price, right? The portfolio may be down. It might be down for 3 years, but that 4th year, you feel me?
Yes, sir. Hey, we're about to get up out of here. But before we get up out of here, I'm looking at the thing right now, man. Who's in here? If the 2 people are in here, I need you to drop a comment so we can see who you guys are.
Shout out to our 2 viewers too, man. We keep building. You're gonna see a lot more people in here, man. Chat finna be flooded.
We got one up in here, man. You better drop a chat.
Because there's gonna be a point where we're reading. There's so many messages. You feel me?
Like we won't be able to see your name no more.
Yeah. So this is your moment. Yeah, this is your moment.
All right, now we back at 2. You guys better drop the names, man.
We coming up at the end of the year, man. I'm glad that we made it here, bruh. I'm glad we got to the point where we could look back and be like, hey, I got some reflection from the beginning of this year and be like, yeah, I did that. We did that. Full circle wealth, man. You already know. You already know. Sooner or later, you're going to see full circle wealth on the trading view, bruh. You're going to see us trading at you know what I'm saying, going from our initial, you feel me, $2, we're going to shoot up to 100,000, you feel me? We're on some different, right?
You guys were supposed to drop names, man. I'll give you like a minute to drop names, man. Just drop whoever it is here real quick. Say what's up real quick. If not, I'm going to block you.
Shout out Full Circle, bruh. You done came a long way. And we need more days like this, just charting up. Just full-blown chart work.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm about to block you guys. Full Circle, we out.
Full Circle out, man.
We out. Like, comment, and subscribe on the YouTube, man. Let me get this out the way. Like, comment, and subscribe on the YouTube when we post it on the YouTube. Follow our Twitch that we got this posted on right now. And go hit the Instagram and follow us for daily clips, man. We are actually about to go record a good content piece right now for you guys that you guys will be able to see today or tomorrow. So with that being said, Full Circle Wealth out.
Yeah.
You guys still didn't put no names. Don't join again.